Hi, welcome to my first video. My name is Scarlett, I'm 21 years old and I'm from Adelaide, South Australia. Today I'm going to be doing a Madison Beer inspired look. I got to go to her encore tour, her closing night in Melbourne in early September, and it was just amazing. It was incredible and her makeup was absolute perfection. So today I thought we would give it a go. Disclaimer, I thought I would try and match her aesthetic by wearing a tube top, so if I come close and it comes down, I'm not naked, it's just moved down a little bit, so let's just keep that in mind. To start off with skincare, I'm going to be using the Kosas Spray On Serum. I like to just do quite a solid overall spray. I try not to breathe during this because it doesn't smell or taste the best. For toner, I'm going to go in with the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Toner. This one's quite thick and goopy, which is right up my alley, very hydrating. So I like to put that all over my face, a little bit on my upper eyelids, and bring that down to my neck and chest as well. Just because in summer my skin tends to dry out a little bit. So under my makeup, I like to keep things as hydrated as I can. Voila. I'm now going to go in with the Beauty of Jason Red Bean Water Gel. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I'm going to use quite a fair bit. My skin, okay, that's maybe a little bit too much, but my skin can handle putting on quite a fair bit just because it's so light and that gel texture makes it really nice and easy to absorb. And I can also bring it down to my neck too. So this is the Tia Eye Cream. Even though I'm young and I probably don't need it, I like to just use a little bit for when I'm doing my makeup underneath my concealer, just so that it stays really hydrated and doesn't crease and get dry. I also just rub very lightly under the eyes, just because that skin is so delicate, and then I'll bring it over the top as well, very gently. And I'll do the other side as well. Now for the most important step, SPF. This is the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. So I'm going to go in with about that much. And I'm going to go all over my face and all over my neck. This is so important, even outside of the spring and summer months, just to avoid that sun damage. For my final step for lip balm, I'm using the Glow Recipe Plum Plump Hyaluronic Gloss Balm. This is super thick, so you don't need a lot of that at all. Just swiping it over my lips, rubbing it in. Alright, I'm back. It's been about 45 minutes, and as you can see, my skin is still nice and glowy. It's just not as fresh, and now my skin is nice and prepped for my makeup. To start, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. All of my writing on it has come off. I'm not sure why it's done that, but anyway. This is the shade 2, Fair Pale. Madison also uses this. I like to go quite ham because it is so gorgeous, as you'll see. It's got a nice coverage to it as well. Just doing it everywhere. And also gonna bring it down my neck too, because it's important to make sure that everything is blended and looks even and the same color. For my foundation and base, I'm going to go in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is also in shade 2. No surprise there, I'm very pale. I like to just do 1 or 2 pumps on the back of my hand, warm it up with my finger, and that way I can control how much product I'm going to put on my face. And I like to make sure it's all symmetrical. And I like to tend to just do little patches like this. I'm ready for my brush to blend it out. With my foundation placement, I try not to put it too much under my eyes because I know I'm going to put concealer there and I don't want it to look too cakey. Again, putting the rest of that foundation on my neck, and I'm going to start there blending. And then we have a super glowy and even base. For concealer, I'm using the Hourglass Vanish concealer. This is in the shade Birch. I'm just going to wipe most of it off of the applicator and apply it just about here because I don't want it too cakey. And lifting upwards. And then I'm just going to very lightly blend this out. So now my under eyes are done. They just look a little bit brighter and it's not so heavy. For my contour today, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the shade Fair Medium. And I'm just going to put a couple little dots here. I can never get them right. So hopefully that's about right, I think. There we go. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna get my little beauty blender and just blend that out as nicely as I can. I like to keep it in a little central spot until it's not so pigmented and intense, and then I like to buff it out. Bring it up towards my temples, meet my eyebrow, bring it towards my cheeks. There we go. When doing my forehead, it's really important to make sure you blend it into your hairline so that it doesn't look like you've got a different colour for your face and a different colour for your scalp. So that's really important. Just to make sure that's all blended in nicely. And there we go. Now for my nose, I just want to really lightly go like this. And I'm going to use the other end of my blender and bring that up and down the sides of my nose. And around the tip of my nose as well, just to make it look like more of a button nose. And there we go. Just gives it a little bit more definition. Alright, now for blush I'm using the Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand. This one is in the shade Pinkgasm. And I'm gonna put it on the upper points on my cheek and bring it to my apples. And then I'm gonna blend that out as quickly as I can, just to make sure it doesn't set in that spot. Blend it into that contour I just did. I'm also just gonna dab a little bit on my nose, just to give a little bit of a sun-kissed effect. And for highlighter, I'm using the Beauty Light Wand again, but this is in the shade Spotlight. And I lost the little applicator, so I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand and then use my finger to apply it, which I don't mind anyway because I feel like I can evenly better blend it this way. And so I'm just putting it on the high points of my cheeks and blending it up to my brow bone. And there we go. There's the glowy base done. Now I can move on to setting my face and doing my powder products. So I'm going to start off with my Pat McGrath powder. This one's a newbie for me. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is the shade Light. So I'm just going to use that under my eyes. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the products that Madison has. So for bronzer, I'm going in with my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Light. And I like to get quite a bit on my brush and then I'll tap it off and just dab it on some paper towel a little bit just to make sure it's not too much. And then I'll just ever so lightly just go over where I put my cream contour and just kind of keep it in a straight line and pushing upwards, never downwards, because we want to lift up the face. And there we go, nice and bronzed. Now for blush, I'm going to use my NARS Orgasm blush, and I'm going to use my Hourglass brush using the more defined side. I'm going to do the same thing, go quite ham on my brush, tap it off, and then do the apples of my cheeks. And then on my nose too. Like I said, unfortunately I don't have all of the same products as her, but in terms of the Fenty highlighter palettes, I have the Girl Next Door and Chic Freak. This one is a bit used, but that's okay. I'm gonna mix both of these shades together, do it at a time, and just go over that blush that I just did. And in that dabbing motion, this is just like a nice light pink highlighter blush. Nice for the summer. Now, this is not an essential step, but I like to do this just to make sure my makeup looks all blended and nice. I like to take my powder brush and just on my hand, just get all of the powder off that was on it. And then I like to just lightly go over my whole face, just so it looks a little bit more blurred. And that way, if there's anything that I've missed that needs a little extra blending, this will go over that. And as well, if I've done a little bit too much blush or contour, I can just pat that out and it can just diffuse it a little bit. And just touches everything up. Makes it look a little bit nicer. And ever since I've started doing it, I've never gone a makeup routine without doing it. So I definitely recommend doing that. There we go. The whole base is done. Time for the eyes. I actually have the Morphe and Madison Beer Channel Surfing Artistry palette, and in one of the tutorials I've seen her do, she will take a small brush, take this lighter shade, and put it all over her lid. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to go in with this shade and the shade here. Mix them together. Tap them on. And I'm going to go into my crease very lightly, blending it up and outwards. Then I'm going to go back in with that first brush and that first shade, and I'm just going to touch up the inner corner and the center just to bring back that brightness. So now just with a really fine angle brush and this brown shade here, I'm going to pop that on the ends, dab that off for any fallout, and I'm going to draw the said imaginary line that Madison does. Just drag that out. Then with the same brush and the same shade, I'm going to just do my inner corners. Now I'm going to switch to a more defined condensed brush. I'm going in with this shimmer shade here. Just going to dab a little bit on my brush. And I'm going to do my inner corners. Using that same shade, I'm also going to do my brow bone. For mascara, I'm using the Milk Makeup Kush High Roll Mascara. This is awesome because I love the applicator. They're really spread out, and I like making my lashes look separated and long and fanned out instead of like a more clumpy look. So I'm just gonna try and really control them. For my eyebrows, I don't really do too much. I just use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. I could probably use a new one. This one's getting a little bit crusty at the moment, but it will do for now. I like to just push my eyebrows up and outwards and then define the tail. So now that we're coming to the end, I'm just going to get that lip balm off my lips. Make sure they're all dry. And I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Cheat, and I'm going to line my lips. I'm going in with the Jisoo Honey Infused Lip Oil. This just has golden shimmer in it, and it does smell like honey. So if you love honey, I recommend these. Alright, there's the lips done. For the final touch, I'm going with my Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. I'm just doing that all over. Now for my final touches, I'm going to go in with my jewellery. These are the Majuri golden oversized hoops. I'm a very dainty jewellery kind of girl, so I love these. And then I'm going to go in with my Van Cleef vintage Alhambra necklace. There we go. Alrighty, and there we have it, everybody. That's the finished look. My finished Madison beer inspired skincare and makeup tutorial. Thank you for watching.